So this is me, Caitlin. Hello, everyone. I'm here with Sasha, aka Kim, or Kim,
What?
aka Sasha, I think is more
Fair,
appropriate,
either one, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and Ray, aka June. How y'all doing?
Good. How are you?
Hey.
I'm doing great. Before we started recording, Ray, I know you were asking permission to smoke your J, so permission grant has been granted all around.
Hold on.
Consent.
Thanks.
You need a sound bite for this. Mind if I take a bong hit real quick?
Permission granted.
Mm. I wanted to use that later, but I've used it so much you can hardly read
Oh,
it anymore.
same.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
have
so
extra
part of it's,
ones.
well,
Oh,
we need those,
Yeah,
clearly,
yeah.
because
find you.
I used it so much that half of it has come off.
Oh
Aw,
my
the
goodness.
hang up merch, well loved. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're out of
Yeah.
lighters officially, but I have a few
Oh,
extra
fuck.
laying around. I got you. I got you.
Oh, cool. Awesome.
Vintage
Yeah, we
merch
need that.
here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. You guys are like a season back now.
Yeah, it feels like a
Yeah. We're the
lifetime.
we're the OG. It's crazy.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. So I definitely want to hear what y'all thought about season two. But first, our listeners haven't heard from y'all in like a year. So I want to hear your updates. Kim, last time we talked at the reunion, you shared that you had cancer and we're going through cancer treatment again. So I just want to hear
Yeah.
how that's going.
So cancer free. I've
Yes.
been in remission since January officially, and also have one more immunotherapy treatment. So I'm gonna ring the bell again to be done with this whole thing. And yeah, just a few more steps before I'm like back into my zone of being who I am as a person, not really having to worry about my health as much. But yeah, definitely been trying to take care of myself a little bit better and um, been really having a good summer. Been enjoying myself. Got a deep tan line.
Yes, yes, that's awesome. And when's your last treatment?
I think it's like in a couple of weeks. They
Okay,
do it every 3 weeks, so I just have one. No, it's actually the week after next. Yeah, so not next week, but the week after that. It'll
amazing.
be the last one, and that's a year of bullshit done.
Yeah,
Close the
yeah,
book for sure. I'm ready to be finished. I've been
yeah.
ready to be finished.
It's a lot to
But
take
yeah,
care of your health like that.
definitely. And
Yeah.
I've been working the whole time. I've been socializing. I'm taking care of my girlfriend.
Yeah, I was
Well, not
gonna
really
say you've
taking
been
care of her, but
dating.
yeah, yeah. So it's like it's a lot, you know. You have to kind of it puts your mortality at the forefront, and your youth is slipping day by day. You know, I might seem young and spry, and but it's the biological age is getting up there, and I feel it,
Yeah.
but I'm trying to like I guess ignore that shit for the time being until I hit 40, then these knees might give out.
I know. I'm like I feel it in my knees. And Ray just joined us in their 30s.
I did.
Oh
I
So
hit the
yeah,
30
happy
club.
happy
belated
3 decades.
birthday.
birthday. All
I
right,
saw
Thank
your
you.
Theo.
dirty,
Okay.
slutty photos on
Oh,
Instagram.
ooh, thank you. Yeah, crop top and shorts, my summer uniform. It's
Hell
catch me
yeah,
around
hell
town.
yeah.
I'm probably wearing that. But yeah, no.
Fuck yeah.
Well, first of all, Kim, gonna be thinking about you in a few weeks as you go into this, and just
For
want to
sure.
take a moment to like. I'm sure you hear it all the time, but like the strength it takes to get up and continue everyday life when you have something like this going on is just
Oh yeah.
until you're
I
in
know.
it, people don't really know it. And I can relate in the way that over the past few years, I've developed physical disability as a result of a back injury and chronic pain,
Um,
and still doing what you have to do to feed two spoiled kitty mouths who, sorry if they
yeah.
want to show you their best Simone Biles in the background. They
Yeah,
are
That
I
known
is
hope
to do
no
that.
apologies needed.
And
That would be a
but
bonus.
well, they really are, like father like daughters, I suppose, little showboats. But no, definitely can relate in
Yeah.
that, like, I don't want to get out of bed, but I have to get out of bed and go into the
Yeah.
office. So I see you. And yeah, 30 did it. Here I am at 30. It's been wild. Learning a lot of new lessons,
Okay.
doing the adult grind. I talked to my dad on the phone on my 30th, and he
Oh,
was like,
wow.
"What's up?" I'm like, I go to work. I'm back in school, and
Oh,
I do my
congrats.
comedy. Thank you. Yes, I'm
Oh,
going to get uh, my master's of science. I never thought I'd have a degree with
Wow.
science in
nerd.
it because it's just mass communications. But, I'll
Oh,
have an
sweet.
MS now, like the kind that comes
Oh,
after your name and not before your name because I'm not a woman. But, it's wild. But yeah, so I'm telling him all these things and I'm like, it just sort of like doing the grind day by day. And he's like, yep, that's adulthood. Welcome to it. Thanks, Dad. So
yeah.
wise guy, but he's turning into a bigger softie than he already was too, because last August my oldest brother and his wife welcomed a baby. So have another little nephew. He just
Oh,
Yes,
turned one
congrats.
a couple
Uncle
days
Mike.
ago, actually. So
Aw.
I got him a book called Goodnight Goblin King, and it's like this labyrinth thing. I'm like, Auntie will show you
Hmm.
this to you when you're older. But, so, but yeah, let's go back to you, Kim. I think I heard you were dating. Let's hear that tea.
Oh, oh yeah. Speaking of, that's her name, T.
What?
Really?
Oh my God, what
Well,
a crazy
well, Taylor,
Sue.
but her family calls her T.
Oh my
But
God.
I call her Tay. But yeah, it's a product of a slow burn. We've been working on this for
Sexy.
years, and we finally just, we've been, it's a work in progress, but we've been working on it. And I think being on Hang Up kind of helped me a little bit just to like give that self-reflection sort of like really into what I'm like looking for and what I might provide in a relationship. And I'm just a lot more open, especially like after Ray, I'll reference your cringy exit interview that you you hate so much.
I love
But
it.
the relationship anarchy stuff, it really kind of helped me kind of like gain ground and be like, you know, I've been searching for a specific person for a really long time, and now I get that specific person, and it might be as problematic as any other relationship, but I'm like completely willing to drag myself through that because I'm like finally getting what I want.
Beautiful. Yeah. Also, just to like the relationship anarchy, I thought about that a lot too, Ray, since you taught me about that of like not making assumptions about what this relationship, what I want it to provide for me, to articulate what I want it to provide and articulate what I can give to it is a really powerful tool.
Very
No,
much. Yeah.
it really is. And okay, it's like a really beautiful segue into season two, actually, but I do kind of want to. I'm like, wait, pause. There's one more thing from the first part until we get into the second part, because Kim, you said another thing that I related to. The exit interview, you know, I really was unabashedly myself. I warned
Which
everyone,
we
right?
love. We
Yes.
finally
Thank
got
you.
Yes.
to have a taste of June. It was
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
nice.
yes. Very much so. All 50 flavors of June, right? But no reference to any terrible. Ew, no. If you're thinking that reference, absolutely not.
I
Icky,
don't
icky. If you
even.
know, you know.
Okay.
So um, I was listening to that exit interview, and so for as much as I talked about relationship anarchy and all these things. I did talk about, wanting to find somebody who just sort of fit into all of those places. And it's relatively new, but I have started hanging out with a sweet friend who is
Ah, sweet
showing that she
friend.
fits into those places in the same way. She's also a solo ethical non-monogamist and has her own dreams and goals that she's working towards that don't necessarily have to fit in with mine. And we have fun and it's flirty and
Oh, that
we're
is
like kissing at
amazing.
the VMFA. And
Oh my
so it's been
gosh.
really awesome. That's all I'm going to say about it now because it is, me. I am like an old man that wants to take my time, like my grandma sings, getting to know you, right? But she's very lovely, and it was
Oh,
just sort of funny to hear that. And then, like you said, Kim being like, I think I have what I was looking for, and it's time to explore that.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
but speaking of
Oh,
my old manhood, Caitlin, can I tell you when I was listening to
yes.
season two, I was like, this was the season I should have been on. That's
Oh, yeah.
You are
You,
not the
I,
first person from season one who said that.
no,
it's just
I think that's a good point. You definitely fit in, people-wise, you fit in better with that crowd. I don't know. I
And
think
you would have
we
been
had
younger
a,
than Salix, so
I
oh
know, and that's the
wow.
wild thing is like I absolutely. Here's the thing. Should I have been in season two? I do not think I would have made it that far either because of the age thing. But I
Mhm.
just some of the references, like Ness, really, really concerned. Hope that Ness is okay wherever she is. But when she mentioned Murder She Wrote, I was like, how many times, like my for a long time, my profiles on the apps, was like, I just want someone to like, kiss and watch Murder
really.
She Wrote with. Like, yeah,
No way.
I love Murder She Wrote.
Ness is
I always
such the
joke
one that
about.
got away. Like,
Truly, truly,
Oh,
but also Caitlin, when you posted the GIF of Patrick Swayze in Ghost, I was like, "Is this not a reference to Ghost Husband?" Thank you.
yeah,
yes,
I thought that
yeah,
was
Uh,
a little bit
totally.
shady as
Another
well. I'm
thing
like,
from that.
damn.
Yeah.
You have
I
Calling
was
it
to.
like,
straight up
OMG,
ghost.
which
I,
quick update for those who know the ghost husband story from my exit interview. That person posted a photo in like a local group online recently and I did not see the necklace, so I wonder if there's been a ghost divorce.
Oh no. The necklace that their ghost husband gave them.
That like
Yeah.
showed that they were like bonded for millennia.
Yeah, well, you got to hold on tight to those.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, I'm gonna stop being the ham.
I love that you shared that about this new person, Ray. I love that we're catching you in this moment because it's such a fun, special time.
for sure.
Yay. Yeah, let's talk about season two. I was curious, just like any overall impressions, like how did you feel the vibe compared to y'all season? And I'm also curious, like if there was someone on the season who you felt like was like your parallel version of you, like if there was like a Sasha of season two or a June of season two.
Yeah. Good question. Hmm. Well, just to like go back about the Nest thing, I was also shocked, but I was incredibly impressed by the way that Timo reacted.
Hmm.
They were just like, no, it's okay. I really hope they're all right, and like not at all bothered like that this bitch ghosted. Oh, excuse me, sorry, I didn't mean bitch. This theoretical person has ghosted them.
Yeah.
But it's just, one of those things where I think you see it in the course of this season as well. It's one of those things if you're not ready, if you're not, wanting to attach yourself completely to someone else, then it's just not going to happen. And, Timo being more emotionally intelligent and being able to recognize that, like throughout the season, I think was like the most profound thing for me at least.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were really navigating things with like really high emotional intelligence for sure. And
For
yeah, I'm
sure.
sure that was it's hard for me to, I was very emotional about it from just a production standpoint,
Yeah, I'm
and trying to like figure out how
sure.
to navigate that. So it was hard for me to really have a lot of empathy for like Timo's feelings, or not that I like didn't care about how Timo felt. It was just hard for me to like fully understand how they must have been feeling. But I agree that must have been really it's a very public process, right? Like by
Yeah,
definition, you're dating publicly. Dating is already vulnerable, and so to like allow to have that level of vulnerability and still receive a ghosting with grace was really impressive.
yeah. And
Right.
then to themselves ghost in a way
Yep.
Yeah,
at
I was
the
gonna
end, and
say.
then still, be able to, and Caitlin, you and I have talked about this, still be able to come back and say, this is what happened. Excuse me. I apologize. This was what was going on. This was my thought process. You can't just hang it up and leave it. You gotta, you know, eventually come full circle, I think. So that part has, it's like the resolution. You finally get that like gratification of having something be like, okay, now I understand,
Mm-hmm.
or and now the weight is lifted because we've had that conversation. It's like you if you don't get that, you're always going to be speculating,
Yeah, that's
ruminating.
the hardest thing about ghosting, right? Is just the like not knowing. So for Timo to like own it and explain is a way. I'm imagine like that was huge for Salix, or that seems to be what
Absolutely.
they expressed, that that was important for them to get that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think they could potentially, or like at least a friendship in the future. It's like that bond doesn't just go away, I guess, but it's it's very much adult shit.
Yeah, yeah, that was kind of the
Like,
vibe of season two. I think
yeah,
for sure was like
yeah,
adult shit. Not that y'all's wasn't
for
adult,
sure.
but it was just like
No,
there
no,
was some
no.
like
No,
serious
but
shit that was dealt with in season two.
Yeah,
right.
throughout the
Well,
whole thing, yeah.
and the folks in season two were definitely at different points of their lives than the folks in our season. We're all young adults, right? But we're in our 20s, 30s, and they were in their
Yeah,
30s, 40s. Children were involved,
yeah.
child rearing, and it was so much more nuanced. The amount of nuance, like I'm sure the nuance in season two got the queer so wet because there's nothing more that we love than
No shit.
nuance. Like, yeah, give it to me. So I took so many notes. I like wrote in my journals. If you're the page flipping,
Oh my
you're
god.
welcome for the ASMR. But
Yay.
it was just the emphasis on community in season
Yeah,
two and taking care of community and each other and being so enmeshed in community so much more than they
for
even
sure.
realized until the puzzle pieces started falling into place. Especially the big Lady Shug reveal was very fun and
Yeah.
delightful.
So
And
crazy.
it was a very drag race moment, which was wonderful for the origin of season two coming together in that drag race space. But yeah, I just the emphasis on community and wanting to take care of each other and wanting to make sure that everybody was treated with compassion and respect, even in those tough moments, was just astounding. And the relationship anarchy. Season two was just laden with relationship anarchy.
Very much so.
And, I wrote platonic romance very large and underlined it, which is something that Timo said. I would love to talk with Timo. I would love to just sit down and have a conversation with Timo and learn from Timo, as somebody with a decade or more of experience on me, in the world, and in this sort of political setting. Um, just the like Timo understands platonic partnership and platonic romance in a way that I don't think anybody else except a few people in my life really understand. And it was just really beautiful to hear. And people will ask me, when I explain it to them, they'll be like, why isn't that feels like just friendship? And I'm like, there's a nuance. There's that word again. There's a nuance to it where it goes deeper than that. It goes deeper than what we as a culture see friendship as. So yeah, that delighted me.
Mm. Are you sure that was Tima? I feel like that was Billy who said that.
Oh, okay, it may have been Billy, but
I'm not saying that Timo didn't display that, but I think I remember it being named by Billy.
I think you're correct. Sorry, I didn't mean to get defensive. I got excited.
The platonic romance part.
I'm not trying to fact check you. I'm just trying to, yeah.
No.
I remember when Billy said that, I was like, what is that? So.
Yeah. Well, and both
romance.
too.
Mm-hmm.
Platonic romance. Yeah. Well, and Timo also said it about Roxanne and like how Roxanne's relationship with Timo. But Billy, how could I forget Billy? I would love to chat with Billy as well.
Seriously.
Their politics really align with that as well. And so it was so refreshing to see it like reflected. And even like we were saying in the way that Salix handled, oh my god, was this not oregano?
No, hit it again.
Holy shit. Guys, is this cannabis? What? The way that Salix handled everything was just so beautiful. Everyone had so much compassion and love, which are words that I'm just going to broken record on because it was just so evident. And being like, I was refreshing on the reunion before we hopped on the mic. And even in the reunion, when it was just like revealed who everyone was and how small the circle is. And oh my God, Caitlin, when you were like, raise your hand if you're not in roller derby. And you're like, this is like less than half the crowd.
It really was like,
it was so funny.
Few people raise their hand. It's like, that's not okay.
Well, even in the first episode, when everyone was introducing themselves, they were like, I love roller skating, roller skating, roller skating. So it was a common theme. Relationship anarchy and roller skating, the two words to describe season 2.
Yes.
But it was just evident that that's such a small community and they have each other's backs, and that's like so beautiful to see.
It's smaller than Richmond, apparently. Like
I was thinking the same damn thing. I was like, I thought Richmond was small. What?
Like seriously, I as I was reading through Caitlin and I's text, like they know each other. What? I'm sweating. How? What is going on? Like it blew my mind that basically all of them, it's like the L word. Basically all of them are some way connected. It's fucking crazy.
Except more queer and more like disability justice, like more diverse, right? Like so much, but the way the L word should have gone.
Right.
Sorry.
The better real life L word.
Exactly right, because I remember that, the real L word.
But Ray, you're correct. It tickled parts of my queer little heart that I didn't even know. Like I found myself being like, damn, this is hot. Like what? I don't even know what these people look like. And I'm just finding myself attracted to their emotional intelligence and their strange kinks. Like, what about forest sex? Are we fucking in the woods?
Seriously.
What are we doing?
Thanks.
Kim, were you not fucking in the woods? I mean...
No.
Yeah, the Star 69 episode was just like so next level. Yeah.
Yes.
Lord.
Yeah, I just want to like take a second, Caitlin, to shout out you and Ben and Zakia for even like dreaming up and then bringing to fruition this like awesome idea, because it's just for a reality dating series, they I've never seen something so diverse, something so queer, and like realistic.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
and also reaching different age levels that aren't usually shown in the media, um,
Different
identities that
demographics
are
for
usually kept
sure.
from the
Yeah,
narrative. So, like, just like big, like, snaps to you.
Oh, thank you.
So that's what you
definitely.
do on the mic. Clapping's a little too loud.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No,
Well,
agreed.
yeah, I
You're
mean,
opening up a space for intersectionality that is just incredible.
thank you. But I think though, I mean, it's all props to y'all, who are like willing to do it because I think dating does have like all this nuance, but I think the way that most reality shows go at it is to like really flatten it and it doesn't like trust the audience to understand it
Yeah.
or like to be messy in those kind of ways. Like there is this like very specific way that and I mean it's heteronormativity. There's so many things as like the patriarchy, sexism, like all these like kind of like roles and stereotypes and but like yeah, that's not how any of us see our friends date and it's really not like that hard. It's not like I'm like making up a new way to date. It's just that
Right.
like I'm like letting people who I know date on a reality show. And yeah, I was thinking about that too because I feel like there was some between the like Roxanne, the way like Roxanne came on the show, and I trust Roxanne to like receive this and like we've talked about it and like but the Roxanne and Suge thing almost kind of was like moving in those like more stereotypical roles in a way that kind of made me uncomfortable honestly as a producer. And
Yeah.
Suge and I have talked about this and like we talked about it on their exit interview. But I think there's like, yeah, we have these kind of like expectations, and sometimes it's like hard to break out of them and kind of like be true. And it is, documentary. This is like, I studied documentary film in college, and this is like one of the big questions you like wrestle with, like, is documentary real? Can it ever be real? And so I think those are some of the big things that were like coming up here. And I didn't mean for this episode to be like so academic. I feel like we're getting like really heady.
Well,
Even
Oh,
though
sorry.
Ray's not passing the
Ray
blunt.
Karkoff, Masters of Science, is here. Sorry, it got a little
Okay, yeah.
MS,
MS, yeah, yeah.
the other MS.
But yeah,
yeah.
those are some of the things I was thinking about.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things where, yeah, sure, it can be, let's say, crafted or tailored to some extent because you have these parameters that you have to put on it. It's a show, you know. It has to have a format. But, inside of that, things are very real. And I did text that to you, like, damn, this show is so real because you're stripping away, like you said, the heteronormativity and the canned sort of chaos that comes with normal reality dating shows. And, even like the queer ones, like shout out Tila Tequila or whatever, like even the queer shows
So sad what
and
happened there.
you,
I
it,
think the
it, it
world would have
literally,
been different if she had chosen Danny. And
and
that is the hill I will die on.
and that's what we wanted, but in a world of MTV or whatever, that's not how we want to see things. We want to cover this up and make it super patriarchal and
Well,
just
even
for
Queer
clarity, she's gonna choose the
Ultimatum.
man. Right, yeah. So
Well, what a
Sorry.
it's always gonna be the kill your gays trope. It's like
mm-hmm.
you're never gonna get that final prince and princess or princess and princess at the end because it's not something that you get in TV. You don't see that on television. So when we're, taking away all of that sort of facade and putting this in direct view, this is how queers date. We
Yeah.
throw each other in a puddle and we say, you and
And you, and you, and you.
And you.
Everyone's welcome. Why can't we throuple? That's, yeah.
Right.
How many
Oh,
times
Well,
was that said?
Well,
Love
and
the
it's
throuple energy. Love
I
it.
think that that is exactly, Kim, like you were saying on TV, some things just can't happen because, I don't think I'm the only one here who is obsessed with Queer Ultimatum last summer,
Oh no,
and
I didn't see that.
there, oh, Kim, oh, well. We'll catch you up.
Classic.
Yeah.
After the
Yes.
recording, we're all going over to Kim's house, being like, "Okay, sit down and buckle up."
This is
But
it.
Oh.
Mal, literally MVP of the whole series, and exactly who I was going to bring up in that.
Yeah.
Mal was literally sitting there being like, "I hear that you love Xander, and I still love you, but I am Yoli. I'm willing to work this out. I'm willing to figure out at least what I heard in the subtext was that Mao was willing to figure out something that was ethically non-monogamous between the three of them.
Um,
And in that reunion show, which was also just oh my god, so unsafe bringing
Yeah. Yeah.
somebody in that had harms. It was just ooh yuck. Thanks, hang up for never ever ever doing something
Of
like that.
course.
And boo Netflix for not taking care of their humans, but that's a
Yeah.
different podcast. Um, but it just the word
well, that's
polyamory
reality
just
dating,
got
right?
yeah, right. Well, and like, but it's just so abusive. But again, that's ooh, is that a splinter in my foot? I'm stepping up on a soapbox. I need to step down before we're here too long. But all that is to say, like that word polyamory got thrown around like such a like dirty, yucky thing
Mm-hmm.
that couldn't
Mm-hmm.
possibly happen. But like this weird cheating thing that happened was okay. It just boo.
Very confusing. Yeah. And
Okay,
also,
so apparently I need to watch this show.
or yeah,
Yeah, I was said
obviously
spoiler
we
alerts.
hate it also. So,
Well, I'm not gonna remember any of this clearly,
The love hate.
as I pack another one.
I'm curious in season 2, I feel like even as, someone who is producing it, who listened to every
Mhm,
single
sorry.
second of every single date, for me, like Salix was a little bit of a dark horse, if you will. Like coming in, I feel like they had like a humble beginnings and then was,
Yes, and
kind of
then
rose
came
to
in
the
and
top. Yeah. What did y'all expect Salix to win? And if so, at what point?
In
mm.
episode I'm like, hold on, let me check my notes.
So I thought all along Billy
Mm.
Yeah.
until the Star 69 episode. And then I was like, okay, Salix is like a little bit hot. A lot
Mm.
bit hot.
Yeah.
I think their conversation was the hottest one.
Mm.
Even though I fully expected it to be Billy and Timo to be the hottest
Right.
conversation. But it seemed like the tension was there, but it was just hotter with Salix.
Mm-hmm.
So I was very confused sexually. Just gonna put that out
Like when
there.
I saw Frankenfurter for the first time, oh my god.
And
But
I'm like,
that was a
how
joke.
am I
Okay,
missing these
y'all.
things?
Put this in the mm. I won't put that one in the stand up. But I agree that from the beginning, like in that first speed dial date, not that I'm familiar with that or anything. In that short amount of time that you get to connect with somebody over the phone, they just kept each other laughing the whole time. And I think I
Mm.
knew that Billy was going to be a top contender. And by episode 3, I knew it was going to be down between Billy and Salix. And then, like you said, Kim, around the Star 69 date, things started to change. And there was also something I noticed in my own experience with transition and transness is that I think Timo, there was that underlying, Timo kept, referencing that Salix was also trans, and there's something about T for T in a way that, like, you see me on a level that I don't have to explain to somebody who isn't trans. And so I think that played an important part. I'm not sure if it came up at all in any explicit way, but
No, it did.
you
They were
know,
talking about ass hair.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they
It
really
came up. They came
related
were
on
talking about
some
ass hair.
really
yeah,
specific things that,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, that
Yeah.
exactly. And they
No,
weren't
no.
explaining it to each other. They could just talk about it.
Hmm.
exactly. And that's just, there's such a comfortability and familiarity there that makes everything so much easier. So,
Mm-hmm.
and especially around something like sex, where bodies are changing, and like you said, Kim, ass hair, like hairs just start sprouting everywhere. I'm working on a new bit about it. Knock on all the darn wood, it hasn't happened to me yet. But you know, often when trans men go on T, they will lose their hair, and but they get really hairy everywhere else. So I'm working on a bit of like, oh, it's because the little trans gnomes take it like from your head and put it everywhere
Put
else.
it
So we'll
elsewhere.
see how it
Did you
goes.
read
I'm
that? That was from a
uh,
Fox News clip. They were just like, warning.
trans gnomes will take your hair and give it to trans people. Oh man, okay, jotting it down in the notebook.
Feel free
But
to,
thank you. But yeah, so I felt that that was there the whole time.
Oh my
Um, but
God.
but politically and
It's still on the
ideologically,
hairs.
ideologically.
what? I'm
What?
sorry. This is this not lavender? Holy
It's
All right,
shit!
just
all right. Calm down.
CBD.
What is this,
No,
guys? Um,
I have no clue.
Maxine, what did you send me? Just kidding. It's yeah. I think politically and intellectually they really bonded, and
Mm-hmm.
I could see that that's why those two ended up in the final round.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did Yeah, I asked this question earlier, but I was curious, is there anyone that you felt like was your parallel
Oh, our
version of
Max.
you? And or anyone
No.
else from season 1? Like was there, who was the Sabo? Like was there a Sabo? Was there a Charlie,
Well, I mean, of course, I'm gonna relate with Ryan and see myself in Ryan as like that first
Okay.
elimination. I
Mhm.
think it kind of becomes a thing. Like Cedar had joked about like All Stars 5, but there is this running theme. If you are a Drag Race fan, you know that they will bring back the first eliminee and be like, try again.
Mhm.
Sometimes. So I feel a little bit of like relation in that
Like a
where
rapport with, yeah.
yeah, I'm like, I see you, right? Like we were here, we tried, we had a good time, it didn't work out very well, but heck,
Yeah,
had a
I
fun
could see
time.
some similar energy for sure. Less, not so much roller skating, I think, on your end, but
No, not anymore, not anymore. I think that perhaps the back injury in the like no one can really. Everyone's like, Ray, what did you do? And I'm like, I can't really think of anything, but it could be the time I was rollerblading on Dock Street
oh
and I
no.
started to get wobbly and had like a literal cartoon like whoa 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 whoa
Um,
whoa. So,
Oh no.
but I slipped on a banana
isn't it
peel, so I'm just prone to do these
isn't it
things.
just
Um,
brick? Isn't that like a brick street?
Dock
that's a
Street is the
sidewalk.
one that goes down on the canal, and people,
Okay.
it's part of the Capitol Trail.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah,
This is
which is like
some
a
Richmond
very
shit.
vulnerable
Yeah.
place to roller skate. I don't know
Yeah.
what I was thinking.
Definitely a lot
Um,
of people saw that happen. Is
oh,
what
truly, it was like 4 p.m., 5 p.m. traffic too. I really
Oh
picked
wow.
the best time to go make an ass out of myself. It's just my impeccable timing. I inherited it from a gene
But
somewhere,
isn't that great to think about? Like, I always think about when I make an ass of myself of like, I just gave 15 people a really good story that they'll be telling for years.
Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. And that's how I reach stardom.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Thank you for your service.
You're right.
You're welcome.
Um,
At ease.
so to answer the question, I think if I had an equivalent, it would not be Suge who would be where I was third
Mm.
eliminated. It would be more so Mariah.
I could see that. Yeah, totally.
Mhm.
What?
Yeah.
But what? Yeah, tell me more.
Like, I think, um, like this season definitely felt the connection between the top people, but I was like, I mean, this is no shade on Suge, but I thought Suge was gone in Mariah's spot. But it was later revealed that Suge was kept instead of Mariah to kind of alleviate the sort of like are they, will they, won't they
Yeah.
from Mariah and Timo. So I think that was really smart on Timo's part and very emotionally emotionally intelligent. Like I said, like it's just been, very compassionate. Like we're not getting the full story. Clearly we didn't, there's edits and like we're not getting all of the conversation, but from what we heard, it sounded very like heartfelt and like it was like a come to Jesus meeting. It was very like almost like therapeutic for both of them
Mm,
to be able to have that conversation. It was beautiful,
yeah.
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah, I think the way like Mariah and you showed up was had similar energy, just like very like present, really funny, but not so surface level funny, like we're more in like the depths there.
Yeah.
And I think yeah, just like I don't know, super genuine and like super just like I'm gonna try with this person, like
Right, yeah,
really like
yeah,
going all in, like not feeling like
for
both
sure.
you and her were like not wishy-washy about like what you want, like you knew what you wanted, you were showing up exactly as you were, and yeah, just like trying your best.
Every time. Yep.
Yeah, I could see that for sure.
Yeah, no, for
Yeah.
sure. And I don't I don't want to put any shade on anybody, so I'm like definitely not shading Chuck. I was a Cedar fan
Oh yeah,
the
how
entire
could you
time.
not
Yeah.
be? How could you not be? What an incredible
Yeah.
human.
Oh, it's truly, truly
Seriously.
incredible work in real life, in their drag, in their advocacy and activism. And also on the show, I think Cedar was real. I think that that assessment of fakeness was more of a dislike of
Mm.
the brashness of like, yeah, like I'm here on a competition. Really, I think that Lady Shug brought the like RuPaul's Drag Race
Oh,
energy. Like, there's a
absolutely.
thousand
Put
dollars
her
on the
on Drag
line.
Race. Put her on Drag Race.
Truly, petition right now.
Yeah.
Sign up. But no, she really, as the drag kids would say, like stepped her pussy up to get that $1,000. Did I do it right, young people? Hello, fellow
You're not asking
youths.
me and Cameron don't know.
Write in right now. Send a letter in the post. Caitlin, what's the PO box? JK.
Yeah.
I think I just developed 5 more gray hairs somewhere, but
Oh
um,
no.
I really think that Lady Shug Cedar brought realness the whole time. In that, like,
Very much so.
she is a huge personality, and she showed every single color of that rainbow,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
she was there to win that prize, and it wasn't necessarily Timo's affection, and she wasn't shy about that. And
Fuck
I don't
yeah.
fault Roxanne either. I
Mhm.
think Roxanne, for what Roxanne or Dr. Aaron was feeling, was that like, I'm here for the money. Like, Timo's awesome. Like, clearly they'd made out before. Like,
Yeah. Clearly they
you
have
know,
some chemistry.
there's a vibe here.
Yeah.
But like, this is what I'm here for. And Roxanne is here. Like, I'm here for my friend. I'm trying to make sure that my friend is protected and safe. So I think it would make sense that they would butt heads like that.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
yeah, no, I'm big Cedar fan here. So
Me too.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, she's really amazing. I mean, some a little behind the scenes. It's probably obvious, but I like reached out to her directly to recruit her, which normally we have, or we currently have applications open. Even we have, and we let people kind of apply, and then I kind of go through the applications. I found her. I was like, I want her on the show. Reached out to her, and was really excited when she said yes. But yeah,
Yeah,
it
that's
was
cool.
like just such a different energy from everyone else because she's a fucking star. Like she's a performer. She knows
Yeah,
how to show up in those spaces, which most of us don't, me and myself included, like we don't have a lot of practice in. And
right.
so like she could show up with this whole other energy that was really hard for people to keep up with, frankly. Like everyone else is
Yeah.
not gonna be on Drag Race, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
And at the
Right.
same time have to like kind of conceal her identity because was she is, this big personality with this huge following. Like how are people not going to know this is her? I think
Exactly.
she did a good job of kind of keeping it, compartmentalized and not really having things. But I mean that, like you said, was read as fake and only maybe to a certain percentage of the listeners, but it's not something that I felt throughout. I felt
Mm-hmm.
this person's genuine. They just have a huge fucking personality. She's just out there and crazy and says whatever the fuck she wants. Like,
Right.
Exactly.
I mean,
Right. And everybody, like, okay, I'm not that familiar with like reality dating shows, but what I have seen, I feel like there is the person in televised reality dating who is like just there, and people are like, you're not here for the person, you're here for the prize. Like, you want
Mm-hmm.
the goods. Like, and so for a show that is, you know, well produced but a small independent team really trying to get more traction than it's already drummed up, we like to have that sort of um like professional reality dating
Mm-hmm.
show like thing happen is like awesome. That's great. Like that's what we're here for. So, and I think in a show that is so deep and nuanced, especially the second season. What a wonderfully like deep and dynamic human being for season two to star. It that energy, I think Cedar's energy would have vibed really well on our season. Like that
Yes.
chaos, that mishmash
yeah.
of
Yeah.
energies and vibe. And
Mm-hmm.
can
Mm-hmm.
you imagine like Osprey and Cedar in the call waiting center together? Like that would
Oh my
be
God.
fun. So yeah, it's big.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would have been fun. Yeah. Well,
Dang,
what do
blast
you?
from the past, Osprey.
I
Wish I could have met
know.
them in person.
Listen, I like birds of prey, and like every time I see one, I feel like that guy. I'm like, man, did you see that osprey went by us? Or like, yeah, that's a falcon. Like, it's.
He's such an enigma. I wonder where
I
he is
know.
and what he's doing.
Osprey, come back. Fly back to the nest.
I guess, yeah. Well, hold on. I think that's our Ness. And then from what you were saying before, I think maybe Cedar
mm.
is our Sabo
Mm,
Yeah.
because
chaotic,
people
big
were
energy,
get
and they also
yeah
were almost
been
on a.
on.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Oh,
Yeah.
at first we were like,
Yep.
no, but yes.
I had to think about it. Okay,
Well,
I
it's
really
so
had to think
interesting too
about
how
it.
that energy can show up in two different ways. I teach improv at our comedy
Oh
theater.
my god,
Shout
fun.
out to CSZ Richmond. Um,
Nice.
but one thing that we talk about is like the heat and weight of emotions when you're building a character on a scale of 1 to 10. And of course, when we
Mm,
think about level 10 emotion, especially with like anger or afraid, I often see my students, looking like the guy from Inside Out or like in a horror movie.
mm,
And then I had this
Mhm.
one student, this little 70-year-old woman who could probably do more backflips than I ever could in my entire life. And she got up there and I assigned her level 10 and she chose to express anger. And she got up in her scene partner's face and she put her little finger in their face and she had her teeth gritted and her eyes squinted and she was like giving him hell in the most like, I cannot believe. And I had to pause the scene. I was like, pause. Who in the audience is terrified right now? And everyone raised their hand. And I was like, level 10 looks different at so many different ways. So all of that is to say that like that same energy, that like cedar energy coming out in Sabo, but looking like two different ways is just, it's very fun.
Yes.
Anyway, I love an anecdote.
Yes.
I'm just an old man in a rocking chair. I actually kind of have like a rocking back chair. Like,
Well, I want to wrap up, but I want to hear what your dreams are for season 3. We're still dreaming it up on the team and trying to imagine what it will look like. And we've had 2 like very different seasons, but with some through lines. And yeah, any wishes? I don't know if I can make them come true, but I'd love to hear.
Well, I say keep doing what you're doing. I think it's working. Like clearly, we progressed from season 1 to season 2, and they were very different, but also have some clear similarities. I think it's just our social interactions as humans is clearly on display. I think this show has a deeper meaning, Caitlin. It is an experiment in the human condition.
Thank you.
And that's not just the bong rip, Caitlin. That's like
No, I think it is. I mean, I'll say it. Caitlin and I hung out in person not too long ago. Caitlin got to see a wild Kim in her
I
natural
did, and
environment.
I had my safari binoculars out observing.
iconic.
It was a great night, but I'm like one of those people that when I get in a social situation, I kind of vibe off of what everybody else is doing, but I'm not afraid to be the one that's like completely different than
Hmm.
everybody else. And I
I
think
relate.
that's what this show is.
Hmm.
You're putting out the same vibes. Like, hey, you want to be on a dating show? At the end, you might get this or this.
Hmm.
It's like yeah, an ultimatum or whatever. It's simple, very simple. But when you really get into the nitty gritty and you start letting people open up and talk, and I think the format that you were putting this in is allowing deeper connections to flourish. I mean, it's a lot more, you know, it's like shorter. It's a like single serving almost because you don't get much time. Like we've all
Hmm.
communicated like maybe two hours
Yeah.
total, throughout the process, and like you really don't get much time within the show to like get to know everybody. So you're having to like, take these single servings of communication and emotions and really distill that down and find out, who you're interested in. And I think, taking away the visage, taking away the, you know, let me buy you a beer, you
Hmm.
know, taking away that sort of situation and letting things just be like, hey, I'm looking for a relationship. I am also looking for a relationship. And then seeing where that
Exactly.
goes.
Yeah.
Right. Right, with like beautiful endings of like, I'm actually looking to keep having the relationship with myself that I've been building.
Yeah.
Or in Maxine's case, this thing had happened to me, and here was this person who was helping me and making me feel protected and safe, and that flourished into
Yeah.
what we have now. Like these like beautiful, like nuanced, again, nuance. Another if this were a book, on the back it would just say nuance, like review, one word
Right.
review. Yeah, right. MS after the name. Kim had said lots of lovely, beautiful things, and I just wanted to like reiterate again and just say like, um, I think a lot of what Kim said comes down to again, Caitlin and your team. I would for season 3, one, just like encourage you to keep following your gut on who you are
Mm.
selecting, because I think you
Yeah.
are finding these people who bring a lot of sugar, spice, and everything nice to these
Like Ray and
conversations.
Kim, like
Yeah,
for
yeah.
example, yeah.
Oh shucks. And even a little bit of chemical X, like and so I think that you are finding these like lovely humans who are incredible stars and in just so many different ways and different energies. And I think it would be fun to see something, of course, um, you're based here in the East Coast where you're Richmond, where the first season was. Ben is out in New Mexico, where the second season was. It would be fun to
Maybe go to New
either
York.
keep that theme. I was going to say keep that theme and go to New York with Zakia. And then maybe like season 4. Ooh, I'm looking into like the
Ooh.
even more future. Then start to go like cross country, if not international.
Mm.
And then I do think it is hilarious.
Midwestern.
Oh my god, me! Don't you know?
Don't you
What's your
know? Go
favorite?
Midwestern. I'm
What's your
like,
favorite
okay.
Jello flavor now? Sorry, JK. I love Midwesterners.
Oh yeah.
Boy, does
New
that go.
Englanders, believe it or not, kind of share a lot of traits with them. We're just a little bit more brash and abrasive. But yeah, I think that'd be fun. And then I do think season 5. You would ask just for season 3, but I'm giving you 3, 4, and 5. Yes, you
Well,
can have
season 5 is
all of
All
these
Stars with Lady
ideas.
Shug as
And
the
that's what I'm saying is like all stars,
And
bring some
Aurora.
all stars back. Not that I know two sitting in front of you or anything. So,
Well,
yeah,
we'll
it
see
also could be
where
cool.
Sasha
Oh,
is with her dating life.
that's sorry.
Yeah,
Hopefully
you never know.
unavailable.
Oh yeah,
Wink.
Sorry.
hopefully.
Sorry, Ray.
No,
No, you're
I was
fine.
off on a roll. I was like, the seasons are fun. It could be fun to see like a larger dating pool and have like longer seasons and
Mm-hmm.
see, but I think that would come with you getting bigger and, so everybody
I
out
like the
there.
format. I like the short and sweet. I think it's
Yeah.
very simple. It's easy. It's easy to listen to as well. Like
Yeah,
if you were to turn it into a video format, maybe longer and
fair enough.
like
I
the
was
in-person one that you guys did in Brooklyn, I thought that was
It
amazing.
was so fire.
Amazing. I
Yeah.
would love to see that. I would
Yeah.
love to see that. And I would drive up to New York just to see that.
yeah,
Thank you.
Like
Yeah.
round
that
trip.
that was very entertaining, and I think the format that you did it in is entertaining both watching the YouTube and also listening while driving. Like
Mm.
I geeked both times. I listening to it, I was like, I have to watch the video and see what these people look like
Yeah.
because it was just amazing. It was so fun and like lighthearted and even at the end, everybody was like, well, maybe we'll go on a date,
Yeah.
like it was like,
We haven't moved. We're just circling this.
yeah, so it's just like, yeah, maybe for the next few seasons you just dip back into this pool of amazing people that you've, miraculously found and be like, well, you said you like this and this person has that personality, so maybe we'll do a little hang-up matchmaking.
Ooh, yes.
Nobody recognizes me as my voice gets deeper, so I'm like
Yeah, your
incognito,
voice has
but
changed a lot.
Yeah,
thanks.
you're a whole
Yeah.
new Ray.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I
I'm a
see that
man
beard coming
now.
in too.
Oh my god,
Yeah,
thank you. My little neck beard. Yeah.
yeah.
My
Cute.
mustache. Thanks. But yeah, that's yeah, anyway, I was gonna do some like shameless pitch about like thank you to everybody who does support you, and here's to like that growing and getting more people
Yeah,
on board to make sure that Hang Up becomes a household name. And
right.
yeah,
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you guys for doing this. It's so fun to see you. I'm glad you're
of course.
thriving and
good to
healthy
see
Yes.
you too.
and yeah, taking really good care of yourself and your partners and your community. And yeah,
Oh
I hope
yeah,
we
and our
can.
kitties.
And
Our
your
kitties.
kitties, a
I
lot of kitties.
know. I'm like,
Um,
mine have been too quiet. Where are they? I have.
are
What
they
are they
okay?
plotting? It was so good to see you
You too.
all.
Let's do this over drinks soon.
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Ciao for
For sure.
now.
Okay. Bye, you guys.
Bye.
Bye.